having musicians in the band that are really, really like care about their craft, that's encouraged me to become a better musician.
I was, for a long time, notorious for dancing far too much. Knees up to, up to my chest.
I really feel that our audiences, our people that come and see the shows and support the gigs, are really amazing people, and they take a lot of time to listen to the music, and they listen to it actively.
Even to this day, I don't totally know what the songs are about. I really don't. It's bad, but I don't. Ollie will tell me, and I'll have an idea, and it's like, oh yeah, those sentences that I know the words to kind of now have context, but I have no idea.
How are we feeling?
Good. From the age of like 9 to about 11, 12, I was playing drums. That's all it was. I was drum crazy. I had all these things obviously going in my head, and from quite a young age of like I wanted to write songs. And that's kind of the start of how I just started to trust my ears in a way. Yeah, around 13, 14, I think maybe I was writing my first songs, I think.
I am, I guess, a classically trained trumpet player who has decided that I didn't want to do classical trumpet playing anymore. Discovered that jazz was quite fun, pop was quite fun.
I feel I'm quite like New Testament. I think it was 2019. Seb was like, oh, do you want to come and dep on these gigs? So we went down to a rehearsal. I think the only reason I got in is because I bought a block of hash for the room. Another sax player called Nat came down, and I think it was like sort of between myself and him, but I think the hash pipped it.
My dad tells me that I always used to pick out bass when we'd listen to songs in the car and on the radio and stuff. I'd always pick out that low end of a song, right? So I guess it was always kind of entwined with the way that I listened to music. It was the only instrument that really kind of stuck.
I decided to go to Gillingham, which is the town next door, and they had a better music department. It was a bit more focused on creative arts. They had a good theatre, they had a studio, and I met Sam. And Sam was one of the only drummers in the school. And we just busked a lot, right? So it was him and a cajon, me and acoustic guitar. We were just mates, just making music. So Dave Tyler he grew up in the area, but he then was living in Woking and was going to the ACM in Guildford. He was like, you should really come to the ACM. We were like, this sounds interesting. It sounds a bit more us. Glittery toilet seats, cool studios, like this is a vibe. I went straight to ACM, did a diploma in vocals. Sam did one in drums. And we were busking around for a bit, and it wasn't long until Dave was kind of in the band. So it was now not Ollie and Sam Barejams, which was the original name. It was Barejams.
We're all burned up by the light of the morning sun. The condescending sound of the city by...
Oh, I loved it. It was Ollie's voice and his kind of just general musicianship, as well as Sam, and just the energy and the vibe that we had as friends, and everything about it was so appealing. We then decided the style of music that we wanted to write, which was more kind of offbeat reggae, with that kind of as like a heavy influence. It kind of made sense to add stuff like horns in. Not long before we had kind of a whole string of gigs in the summer, so we were desperate for someone to fill that place.
So I was studying creative music technology at the University of Surrey in Guildford. There was a Facebook page that kind of joined the two unis together so we could sort of share musicians and producers and stuff like that. And they put up a post saying, we're looking for a trumpet player. And I remember it very clearly because my cousin from New Zealand was over, and we were in the garden, and I saw this come up, and I said, oh, maybe I should probably respond to this. And I remember her very, very clearly remember her saying, yeah, do it. Yeah, definitely do it.
The only person that got back to us, the first and only, was Seb. And so we invited him round to our tiny little student house.
Strange layout, had like a diagonal wall in the living room, very dingy and dark. There was a lot of drugs being smoked and all that sort of stuff, which I wasn't really used to as a little dweeby me. So coming in, it was a bit of a shock. I was just going for, just to play some music. But It turned out there was a lot of partying going on as well.
I prepared some really badly written horn parts that I transcribed furiously the night before. I know how to write music, but not quite like Seb knows how to write or read. So I was kind of giving him these transcriptions that were just terrible. And he was very polite and, you know, basically rewrote them and kind of did his own thing.
There's a song called Strange Minds. It goes like this.
Went and done these 3 gigs. We were supporting a band called Tankers to Henge in Portsmouth, and then went down to Cornwall, and it was the middle of March. We had nowhere to stay, and we ended up camping in this field while it's snowing. And I had this like $8.99 sleeping bag. That's when I was like, okay, this is what I'm getting myself in for.
Slow down.
Felt quite kind of pop, but reggae as well, kind of a bit scarry. Dancey, festival-y, feel good, kind of quite poppy as well. There was definitely like an indie pop influence in there too. It felt different. It felt very different, very kind of not like anything I'd really heard before.
I really liked the music. I thought it was interesting horn-wise and the gigs that were going on, because it was a lot of European stuff. We were like going around in this red van, the no questions, just do it sort of vibe. That was sort of what I liked. It was like, okay, let's just go play music.
Love what you say, what you do, where you look, how you move, the way you do it.
Ollie is the spider, we call him. We milk him for his ideas, and then the web is built and all this. Ollie is a wonderfully chaotic energy. Ideas, all of this, and a very, very positive person, very emotional person, which is obviously why the music is so deep.
It's always a jam, really. Like, it's always got to come. I think the more I overthink things, the less authentic it becomes, and the more processed it sounds. I feel like my best stuff that I write, that I care about, is the stuff that's just, I could pick up a guitar right now, and I feel like I could make something really honest and something I like. I feel deeply, and I try and find the prettiest way to say it.
Oh, it's just a lovely cold dream.
Back in 2016, Ollie's dad was killed in a car crash, which was really quite obviously very shocking for Ollie, very shocking for us as his close mates.
We did this competition for Lavatory Festival. We didn't even realise we'd entered it, and we ended up winning it and played Lavatory Gardens, the festival. And we did 2 sets, one on the main stage and one in the sweaty tent in the evening. And the sweaty tent in the evening was like this, afterwards I was like, you know what, that was sick. And my dad, bless him, like, we went for a beer afterwards, and he was like, I just finally get it, Ollie, like, I finally get what you're doing. He was very proud of the Cold Treat stuff, and I think it was probably about 4 or 5 months maybe, not even that. Yeah, he died at the end of 2016. Yeah, he didn't get to see us play again, and he didn't get to see me grow into the guy I am now, which is a shame, who I'm quite proud of in some respects. And like, I think a lot of it's from losing him. And I was very depressed, and I wasn't very happy with it, and I wanted to give up, and he would never have wanted that. He's the reason I did music in the first place, really. And like, my mum was struggling at the time, big time, with her own things, and we were worried about her. And I remember opening up my news app on my phone, and there was this school that had been bombed in some sad country, and this young lad there with his baby brother in his hands, and he'd lost all his family, and he was there alone, and it was just being filmed. And I was like, shit, man. I was like, how lucky are we? Like, how lucky are we that we can... Sorry, a second. Yeah, how lucky are we that we can sit here and grieve? And there's so many other people out there that don't have the opportunity to do that. They don't even have people around them. Like, that's crazy. Anyway.
Next week marks the 9-year anniversary of my sister and I losing our dad. I know. It's a massive shame. He would love this. He'd love this with all his heart. And this next song is the first song I wrote after he passed. You might know it. If you do know it, feel free to sing along.
It was like, I feel like this little boat. I'm the little boat, like we're all little boats, and like we are all in like just uncharted like oceans where like the storm can come at any time, the wave can come, like we're just, Mother Nature we're just at her peril the whole time, you know? I never told anyone about that, being related to my dad. And then the last gig we did in Bristol, actually, we ran it, and it was the 9-year anniversary the week after the show. So I was like, oh guys, just so you know, me and our sister lost our dad 9 years ago next week. This is the first song we wrote after that experience. And you saw people's faces like, what? And afterwards, 2 girls came up to me and was like, this song was the song that helped us through the death of our dad. Their best friend, they both lost their dad, and this is the song that helped them through this. Then I was like, well, that's where it came from. We've had mums message us saying like, you know, your songs was our son's favourite song. He passed away and took his own life, and this is the song and also on the other side of the spectrum where this has actually helped people from stop taking their own lives. But the people that we've helped, and I think they've helped us as well, like by turning up and sharing these experiences, like this symbiotic relationship that we can't get out of, and it's wonderful.
I watched a little boat sailing to the stormy waters. I tried as hard as I can to grab attention, but all the smoke and signals.
You've got the perfect boat, you've got this lovely sail, you've got the perfect family, the money, everything's there, whether you like, it doesn't matter who you are, shit can hit you. And we're all very susceptible to the same pain. You prop yourself up and that you look after each other, and that's kind of been my message from then. With all my lyrics, it's about perspective, about looking after yourself and your neighbours, and yeah.
Goes, keep her right to the hips and flow. Just feel it move beneath your feet. This time to get known. But there's nothing I can do to make you younger. 'Cause I can only make you stronger. Keep her right to the hips and flows.
I think it's important to talk about Josh, our old keys player, who was with the band. He joined at the same time as Jake. And Josh, if you've seen any of our content and been following us for a while, you know he was the most hilarious man. So funny, such a wonderful energy, really lovely man.
I want to introduce to the stage our good friend, an old member of the band, Josh Parmenio. This is honestly something I want to do every gig, but he's a primary school teacher now. We love you very much. He's gone from being a child in the band to teaching children. I don't know what's going on.
I've just come back from parents' evening.
I had this incredible feeling on the keys, really excellent taste in music. Loved his soul and his jazz and funk and that kind of stuff. But it wasn't his true calling to be the musician in the band. So at the end of 2023, he played his last gig with us at Christmas and moved on. And in his place, me and Jake have known this guy Ben for a long time, Ben Vise. He's a insane sax player first and foremost, but also a mega keys player. Has the similar kind of chaotic, hilarious energy that Ollie and Josh have. So he filled that role beautifully. And he plays this, yeah, he's just got fast fingers. Obviously Sam and Ollie started the barejams, they originated it. And I think similar to Josh, Sam, I've just kind of fell out of love with playing the music, and it kind of, while the rest of us were kind of on this upward trajectory of kind of practicing and improving and really like doing the grind, Sam was kind of, it felt like he was lagging behind a little bit on the practice front, and his heart wasn't really in the music in the same way that the rest of us were, and he decided to leave shortly before our 2024 autumn tour. Obviously a massive kind of whoa moment when he called it in because of the long history. But because it had kind of been feeling a bit rocky, we'd kind of been having these ideas of we might at some point need to call in someone to sort of fill that role. Craig was kind of the guy we had in mind. Me and Jake have known him for a long, long time through function work. And he's just this wonderful, lovely man with this, very rocky, gospel-y, soul-y chops. He's actually a fan of the band before before we'd asked him. He knew a lot of the songs already just from listening to him in his own time. He's a producer in his own right as well, so I'm really very excited to hear what he has to offer for the next body of work that we're writing.
Just walking on the bright side of every day. Look up.
We make music that we like to listen to. Our sounds that we have subconsciously developed over time, it allows us to do what we want.
In this current climate, I think we're doing pretty well, and I think what we've got is quite special. I feel that going forward, this is how we just about make it work, you know, and I feel if we keep on just about making it work, then it will work.
There are times when it feels like, are we just flogging a dead horse a little bit here? Is it really, are we doing this again? Are we doing another tour? It's kind of the same venues again, I don't know. But then Ben and Craig coming in of like, this is an exciting new thing, and they're on stage having the best time, and it kind of reinvigorates that thing of like, oh yeah, no, actually this is really cool.
There's been so much crap going on. There has been for years, I feel like. The social conversation out there is just, the more you look into it, the bleaker it gets. And I think a lot of people have been feeling it, and when you get into a room in a barejams gig, I feel this like sense of just oneness and love. And hopefully that person can leave that room and do something positive for them, either themselves, people next to them, or like, you know. And I think that when you talk about saving the world, it's impossible, isn't it? Like, but if you got to start home, you got to start with yourself. And I think music and that feeling it gives you, and that like sense of community that you get from being in a room with people with the same love for the same thing, and just to dance and forget about everything, that's where you start, isn't it? It's like you start there, and that's hopefully what we can continue to do for as long as possible, really.
It's all good. I've got this feeling.